Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Upgrades. I'm Jeremy Knoll.
And I'm John Suarez.
And in this episode, we are going to be talking about the Buckle Up Precon from Kamigawa Neon Dynasty, which is headlined by Kotori Pilot Prodigy. And this is the blue-white vehicles deck. And honestly, this is pretty sweet. I'm excited about this one.
I am too. I'm a big vehicle fan.
Yeah, there was a lot of vehicles that came out in Kaladesh originally, and we've gotten a few here and there throughout the last couple of years since then. But this one adds a lot more in Neon Dynasty and a few more just in this precon itself. So our commander, Kotori Pilot Prodigy, is a legendary creature Moonfolk, 2/4 for 1 white blue, and it says vehicles you control have crew 2. And at the beginning of combat on your turn, target artifact creature you control gains lifelink and vigilance until end of turn. That's
sweet.
That's
Vigilance is very good for that.
Yeah, Vigilance is very good for our vehicles deck. And the crew 2 doesn't necessarily mean if you have like something that's a crew 1, you can still crew it for 1. It's crew 2, I believe, is it just reduces everything else, I believe, is what I've seen as far as the rules are concerned. But yeah, there's a couple of really sweet cards in this new one. We've got 3 new vehicles just from this precon alone, which are pretty sweet, including Aerial Surveyor, which I know is the one that everybody's talking about. We also have this really, really sweet new card, Swift Reconfiguration.
Yeah, that card, the flavor of the card, the art, everything about it is great. Like the idea you're turning the thing into a vehicle, it's great.
Yeah.
But Magic is such an old game that it certainly breaks things every once in a while, and that is probably going to break something.
Yeah, it's going to be obnoxious. Flash, 1 mana, just turns it into a vehicle with crew 5, loses all their card types. So yeah, it's going to be one to watch out for. If you get this deck, that's probably going to be one of the ones that is going to probably hold some value over time. So
for sure.
Let's get into it. We've got some suggestions for 5 cards under $5 to add to this deck. And starting off, we're going to actually go with our honorable mention for the deck, which can be a little bit more than our $5 budget. This one does just eke out just a little bit above that at around, I believe,
it's around $4 or $5. It's around $5 or $6.
$7, something like that. Yeah, and that is Inventors Fare. This one is a legendary land, and at the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 3 or more artifacts, you gain a life. Probably going to be doing that. Tap to add a colorless, and then pay 4, sacrifice it, search your library for an artifact card, put it in your hand, shuffle, activate only if you have 3 or more. You're just going to go get whatever your best vehicle is that you need at the moment, or whatever other random artifact that you need. So
gets you whatever you need.
Yeah, it's really good in a lot of decks, and I like this one a lot.
So number 5 is a new card from Neon Dynasty, and this is basically like the Power Rangers card, right?
Yeah, this is the Voltron.
This is the Green Rangers come out. He's got his little sword dagger.
He's got his dagger.
He's calling the dragon.
Somehow working through the mask. No big deal.
Of course. So this is Mech Titan Core.
Yeah.
2 mana artifact vehicle. It's a 2/4, but for 5, you can exile it and 4 other artifact creatures and or vehicles you control, and you create Mech Titan, which is a legendary 10/10 construct artifact creature token with flying, vigilance, trample, lifelink, and haste that is all colors. And when that token leaves the battlefield, you actually return all the cards that were exiled with Mech Titan Core, except for Mech Titan Core, back to the battlefield, tapped under control.
Yep.
That's pretty sweet. And it also it's just a vehicle, right?
Yeah,
it's crew 2 for 2/4.
2/4, crew 2, but you got to live the dream and get that.
Of course,
get that
like melding.
Get that Megazord.
Yeah,
get your Voltron going on. It's super great. It's super like. Why wouldn't you want to do this?
Yes.
So moving along, our next one is one that came out not too long ago. It was I believe this one is one of the Strixhaven ones. That is Bronze Guardian. It's 4 and a white. Artifact creature Golem for a star 5, double strike, ward 2. Other artifacts you control have ward 2, and its power is equal to the number of artifacts you control. Really just putting this in there mainly for the other artifacts you control have ward 2. It's always great to be able to protect your other creatures, your other vehicles, having the extra protection of you got to pay the tax to be able to kill them with your removal spell or whatever is just really good. So.
And it's going to probably crew anything you need.
Yeah, it's going to crew very easily. It has double strike if you really want to swing in there. If you got a bunch of vehicles and you're just like, well, this is a 6/5 still, and they don't have any blockers. I can just swing in with this rather than crewing my whatever. So solid card.
Number 3 is a flip card, but I guess we'll cover the front.
Yeah,
that's Cosmina, God of the Voyage, but what we're really trying to cast is the other side, which is the Omen Keel.
Yeah.
So the Omen Keel is a 2 mana 3/3 legendary artifact vehicle. It is Whenever a vehicle you control deals combat damage to a player, that player exiles that many cards from the top of their library, and then you may play lands from among those while they remain exiled. So, cute little way for this deck to kind of ramp with its other artifacts. Maybe you just happen to steal the opponent's utility land.
Yeah.
Maybe you just get something good out of that rather than just ramping. So,
Yeah.
at worst case, you're taking cards from their library.
Yeah.
And the best case, you're ramping.
Yeah, I think this one is one that's going to go under the radar a little bit just because it's on the backside of a card. And so people might forget that, oh, hey, this is a vehicle. When you search for vehicles in like Scryfall or Gather or whatever, this will come up, obviously. But it might be something that people miss.
Yeah.
So
and Crew's 1.
Yeah, Crew 1 for a 3/3 is still real solid. So our next one is one that's going to make your vehicles very scary. And that is our old friend, Tempered Steel. 2 white enchantment. Artifact creatures you control get +2/+2. Very simple anthem for all your artifact creatures.
Nice and clean.
Yeah, it's got not only your vehicles, but there are actually a decent amount of other artifact creatures in here.
Yeah. Artifact tokens.
Yeah, artifact tokens.
Some mirrors.
Yeah,
some Thopters.
Yeah, Psy, Riddlesmith, stuff like that are just going to get the little bit of bonus there, and they're going to become, from 1/1 to big scary 3/3s
all of a sudden they can start crewing everything.
Yeah.
All right, and our number 1 card from the Commander 21 precon from the Strixhaven era, Low Shield, Clockwork Scholar. This is a 3-mana, 2/4 legendary Elephant Artificer. Very specific. Prevent all combat damage that would be dealt to attacking artifact creatures you control, and whenever one or more artifact creatures enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. That only triggers once, but that's fine.
Yeah.
You probably can make it work with something like Mir Smith or something like that
exactly.
to draw from there.
Because it doesn't say non-token.
Correct.
It's just whenever one or more artifact creatures enter the battlefield under your control.
Yeah, so if you can make them on your opponent's turn.
Yep.
Start
Get that
drawing more
extra
cards.
draw. And then just being able to Dolmen Gate and not have to take combat damage for your vehicles is always great.
Yep.
They're put into a tough situation of I can't really profitably block and kill your vehicles off. So
that's the math is for blockers.
yeah,
part.
math is
figure
for
it out.
blockers for sure. So that is our top 5 cards under $5 for the Buckle Up deck from Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. You know what? Let us know in the comments below what cards you would put into this deck to upgrade it. For Jonathan Suarez, I'm Jeremy Knoll. See you next time.